My name is Noble Woods, and I teach kids and adults how to invest and how to buy companies, stock, how to start investing and start your life as an active investor in the stock market. So I just real quick wanted to share one of the best stories from my experience over the last 6 years with teaching. It's just amazing. This blew me away. So I knew to be able to teach adults, I had to challenge myself and be able to teach kids. So I got a really good friend, Dr. Valerie Jones, works at the Ron Clark Academy, did a little networking, came in and did like a little mock IPO sort of thing for the kids. They liked it, made a proposal. Anyway, was able to come and actually teach a 1 hour after school program on investing for 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. Had a small class, about 10 kids. I think I did it for three semesters, about 4 years ago. And this was kind of my training ground to really see if I could teach kids how investing works. What is the Dow Jones? What does shorting mean? How do you read candlesticks? And to give them like a really early but foundational mindset so that they could, of course, be investors for the rest of their life. And this would just be normal for them, right? So I'm teaching on candlestick charts. And so I know some of you guys have probably seen these candlestick charts, and they're really intimidating in the sense that you just don't know what they mean. And it's like, what is this? The red, the green, the little candles, the little bodies called the body and the wick, the little long lines. Like, what is this? I can't decipher this. Is it cold? Like, how do you read these charts, right? So I taught the kids how to read. And to keep it really simple, and I'll do another video, but to keep it simple, a red candle means that the prices that day dropped or in that time frame. A green candle means that the prices went up in that specific time frame, right? So red down, green up. Super simple, super simple. And so the challenge though, I wanted to push my kids. And I said, you know what? Data in the form of these pictures it's information, but it's also a story. So it's one thing to be able to see that the price went from, 88 down to 84. That's pretty easy. But what's the story behind this? When you put a lot of candles or you put a historical chart together, like what's the story behind what's happening in the market, right? So the challenge for the kids was to take 3 candles that I drew on the board, and they had to create on the spot. They had to create a story that made sense based on what they saw in the data or in the candlesticks. And one of my best students, she raised her hand. I was excited, but a little nervous. I didn't know how this was going to go first time, and I was kind of pushing myself, but also pushing them. And so here was her answer. She said, okay, Mr. Woods, this first candle, well, that represents George Bush. Because we learned, in our political, like they had this class every morning where they talk about politics and news and what's going on in the world, which is really great. She said, well, that represents President Bush because the recession is pretty bad, and we were in the Iraq war, and we spent like $2 trillion, and that was really bad, and a lot of people lost their jobs, and I think a lot of people lost their homes too. I was like, oh, wow. Like, she went adult on me. And the next candle was a candle we call a doji, which basically in the market represents confusion. Prices went up, prices went down, but they kind of settled or closed at the end of the day at the exact same place that they started. So she said, Mr. Woods, this is Obama's first presidency. Because he's doing some things that I think were pretty good. He's bailed out GM, and, he bailed out certain companies, and the banks are doing better. But it's still kind of rough, right? So I'm like, wow, like this girl is like a genius. And the last candle, a bullish candle, which simply means that price went up that day. And and what I didn't say was these 3 candles represented they could tell me what time frame the candles represented. So she basically started off saying each candle for me in my story is going to represent 4 years of the presidency. I was blown away. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. So the very last candle, she said basically this is Obama's second term. I think he's going to do really well. I think the Dow Jones is going to come back up like you told us. Things that, kind of bottom out, always go back up to go back to that high and see if we can go higher. I think he's a really good president. He's going to do some positive things. I really like him. I think he's going to do really well. So this last candle is President Obama's second term. These were middle school kids looking at candlesticks that I had just taught them within that same hour, who could then take that information, creatively come outside the box, tell me what time frame those candlesticks would be, and create a story around it. So, needless to say, I'm incredibly proud of those students and that time that I got to work with kids. It was amazing. It's totally changed how I view education and teaching. I know for a fact anybody can learn how to invest. We're simply not taught early enough, and that's the problem. It's one of the core problems with investing in wealth, and just, I could go into a whole different story, but for this video, I just really wanted to share that. So if you are a little bit interested, this isn't trying to sell you on the class. I really just wanted to share that story because I thought it was amazing. Check the class out at limitlessclass.com for more information. And yeah, hopefully I'll just be sharing more stories because I've had a lot of really great moments teaching adults and kids and MBAs and really just trying to build this thing. So thanks for watching. As always, my name is Noble Woods. Please share this with somebody that you know, that you care about, that you want to teach, inspire, that you want to know a little bit more, that you want to help learn a little bit more about investing. So thanks for watching.